This is Temagami. Join us on an incredibly scenic and wet adventure on this 4-day epic canoe trip. Hey there, Denedus and Canoehound Adventures here, and I'm here with my buddy Ingo from Kid Products. This weekend we are embarking on a 4-day canoe journey at the Lake Temagami Access Road, and we're heading down to Wasaksina Lake. Going to be doing a little bit of fishing, a little bit of adventuring, and I think we're going to be dodging some raindrops.
It looks wet.
Yeah, forecast for the next 3 or 4 days here in Temagami is wet. So hope you enjoy the journey. We'll see what we can find here, and come on, let's go have some fun. So after departing the boat access point, we're just now heading south and heading down towards Shiningwood Bay. Going to be heading down there, and I believe that's going to be a few kilometers down until we get into our first portage. Hoping that we're going to have a bit of a tailwind because we're getting a really late start today. Started out at Temagami Outfitters, did a little visit there, and had a coffee. Spoke with the owner, Eric, and a few of his friendly staff. So if you're watching this video, hello guys. Thanks for your hospitality this morning. Anyways, yeah, once we get on there, we'll see what we might come across. I don't know what boat traffic's going to be like, but all I know is once we get off Lake Temagami, things are going to get a little more remote for us, and we'll be back into them smaller back lakes and hopefully get into a little bit of bass and walleye fishing. These areas are very populated and popular for the bass and the walleye, so hopefully we can have ourselves a little fish fry with our steak dinner tonight. That'd be really cool. Just entering the opening of Shiningwood Bay, and wind's a little tougher out here. We're probably going to have to go across to the southern shore and maybe just seek out some protection from the wind, or maybe just be out far enough that we could actually let the wind help us down the lake. So hopefully we don't run into anything too sizable, and hopefully this wind's not blowing a storm in. So we'll see what we got in store here with Mother Nature at her finest. Well, here we are. We're getting towards the end of Shiningwood Bay, and it's like the sun is trying to power through. It's starting to warm up pretty good, starting to build a sweat going on right now, so that's a good thing. But hasn't been too bad. We're blessed most definitely by a tailwind, and it really helped us make some headway down this arm of Lake Temagami. And that's always a good thing. It's not too often you get the wind in your favor, right? So it'll be nice. So not a lot of boat traffic to this point, but I'd imagine once we get into our next lake, which is called Olier Lake, I'd imagine once we get in there, we'll probably start seeing less and less traffic, or less and less people even. And we have arrived at the portage to Olier Lake. Alrighty, so we just finished the portage into Olier Lake. This is going to be a pretty short paddle until we get to the next portage, which I believe is a 410 meter into Denedus Lake. I was going to get some good footage here on this portage, but of course the GoPro died, right? And we did score a nice piece of chaga, and we'll show you that a little later on. So we got some chaga tea happening tonight. Good stuff. Anyways, Ingo's all ready to go. Molly's in the canoe, all ready to go. Let's get the show on the road. So this is what we're after. Now we're into the small lakes, and this is where I would say the real beauty happens. This is where hopefully we don't run into too many people. We did see a whole bunch of moose tracks on that portage, No moose, but we did see a nice bull moose on Highway 11 driving in, sitting in a nice low spot, and he was a rather big fella. So that's the first moose Dennis has seen in a long time. Always love the prize at the end of the portage. And Molly's looking a little hungry. She's eating grass. Here we are, we're on Denedus Lake, and I'm going to paddle across this to the portage now, which is going to take us into Wasaksina. And I believe that's just a short portage. Very scenic lake here, very scenic. And once again, all kinds of moose tracks on the portage. So maybe if we start being a little more quiet, maybe we'll see one of these babies. Here's hoping. Portage number 3 from Denedus over to Wasaksina, and this is a shorty. Looks like there's a campsite up there too. Here we are. This is the portage into Wasaksina. It's a shorty. It's only 110 meters or so. Very, very simple. Oh, look. Told you, we're seeing all kinds of sign of moose. We're just not seeing the moose. So, the proof is in the pudding. They're here. They just don't want us to see them. And welcome to Lake Wasaksina. Another successful launch. We are now on Wasaksina, and we are going to look for our first campsite of the weekend. And there's a few that we could actually choose from on this lake. One that I know of in particular, and we're going to make a beeline for that and see if we can find it, if it's available. we'll probably take it unless we see something better. A few minutes ago, it looked like it was actually going to rain on us. The air just got really heavy and dark. But so far, so good. Alrighty, so here we are. We finally made it to our campsite here on Wasaksina. And it might be just in the nick of time, because if you take a look out here, got something coming in this way. I got a feeling we're going to get wet, so I think we're going to set up the tarp first thing. Get ourselves a little protection. Sit down for a bit. I know we've been sitting in a canoe, but we want to chillax, man. We've been going since 2 o'clock this morning with the drive and everything else. Engel, how you feeling, buddy?
I'm okay, you know. It was a long day.
Yep, well.
And I'm glad we're here now. I know it's beer time.
Yeah, we survived it. We survived it. First day is always, well, first day should always be the toughest, right? Just because of the travel and everything, but all good. So let's get camp set up here and we'll show you what we're having for dinner tonight. Yeah. Alrighty, so here's a little tour of our campsite. There's a fire pit that we need to work on here just to get it a little more acceptable in our opinion. But we're going to fix this up here so we get supper cooking. We set up a tarp here. Tarp's all set up, ready to go there in case we get some rain. We have some place to stay dry. Engel's got his Taj Mahal set up over here. No missing that tent. It's a bright one, eh?
Yeah, I can see that in the dark.
Molly's chillaxing, doesn't want to eat her food. Guess she must not be hungry. And then I got my hammock set up all back here. Looking good, all comfortable, and I'll tell you, I am going to crash and I am going to sleep like a baby tonight. Good stuff. Get some dinner going here on the fire. Having some hash browns and some nice New York strips. And gotta go prep the salad now too. Gonna eat, go to bed. How's dinner, Engel?
Dinner is awesome. We're a little on the tired side, so you know, shoveling it in is just perfect.
I hear you. I hear you. So tasty. Wow. Well, top of the morning.
Good morning.
Looking like it's going to be a rather wet day. Well, at this point anyways.
It's a little foggy out here.
Yeah.
Beautiful though.
Mist is coming down pretty hard right now.
I think it's going to be a traveling day.
I hope so. I hope so. So it is possible you can use a twig stove in the rain. Okay, we saved up a bunch of dry twigs. And now we've got that going so we can get our coffee and our breakfast cooking. So here we are, just leaving our campsite on Wasaksina, and we're going to be sort of heading in an easterly direction. And heading up, it's like a long creek at the end of Wasaksina, and be heading towards Driftwood Lake. And our destination for today is Iceland Lake, which isn't a very long haul, but I plan on doing a little bit of fishing along the way, so hopefully I can grab myself something for dinner tonight. It'd be nice to accentuate some dehydrated food with a nice little fish fry as well. Well, we've got a nice paddle going along here so far, and seems like we're seeing little spatterings of blue cloud or blue sky finally. It's kind of a nice feeling. Beautiful day. There's hardly a breeze, and the temperature, it's really humid, but it's a comfortable temperature for paddling. So we're just now coming up on the creek that will take us up to Driftwood Lake, and this, if I remember from last time I was up here, was going to be a really scenic paddle. So should be able to get some really nice coverage or footage here. A little fire pit up there.
Little shore lunch.
Yeah.
Fire pit.
So this is a rather cool creek here. As you can see, it's lined by down dead cedars all the way along the full length of it. It's pretty neat, actually. People have been through here. You can see some chainsaw marks and stuff like that. They've actually trimmed out the ones, but and they've left a channel for boats to come through. So this is pretty neat. Very tranquil back here, so quiet. Snot rocket. Tire him right out so he doesn't. Nice fish. Hey buddy, come here. Yeah, he's got it good too. Oh.
You didn't want to give up.
No, he's got the hook. I've just gotta. He'd be a good eater. Come here, buddy.
What's the hook, eh?
Look at the color on him. Beauty. There we have her. Welcome to Driftwood Lake. Friends of Temagami. So we're back on the water now. Just we stopped to stretch our legs here at a nice little campsite here on Driftwood. And as you can see, well rewarded there. Got to see a cool little squirrel who come to say hello. Snake, some really nice plants and stuff like that. And just a good opportunity to stretch the legs. Molly went for a swim. And now we're back and we're headed towards the portage that will take us into Iceland Lake. And I believe that's where we're going to find a campsite tonight, and we're going to be camping there. So we'll just keep plugging along here, and we're still on the search for the elusive moose. So we're just coming up to the portage that'll take us over into Iceland Lake, and just come across, there's all kinds of boats and everything here. I guess there must be a lodge around here or something, so they've got all kinds of boats all moored up. Give you a little shot of that. Yeah. All right, so we just finished the portage across into Iceland Lake, and there were multiple trails going through there. We actually switched trails after our first carryover, just because there were some real bad blowdowns. And then we got to the end of that portion and noticed that they tried to block that part of the trail anyways from this end. So, but anyways, we made it through. We are now on Iceland Lake, and we are going to search now for our campsite. There's a few that we can actually choose from here on this lake. So we have time, and it's early enough that we could probably check out a couple and see which one we like best. So we arrived at our campsite here, found a nice place here on Iceland Lake. Very, very pretty view, as you can see from behind me here. This is a pretty nice campsite. But one thing I will say about this area, the last couple campsites, well, the last campsite and this one, not a lot of firewood. They've been pretty decimated for dead standing and deadfall and stuff like that. So we're left to scrounge for like twigs and whatever sticks we could find on the ground. Him and Ingo and I are gonna go and do maybe a little search and see what we could find for maybe a dead standing or something that we could buck up and use for tonight's bonfire. So yeah, man, it's gonna be a heck of a day. We've been lucky and fortunate today that you know, the rain has held off. They were calling for rain here for the 3 or 4 days that we're going to be up here. But ultimately, we've been pretty lucky. We had some last night, but that disappeared, and we've been under cloud cover. But you know what? I don't mind cloud cover when I paddle. That way, there, you know, you're not getting scorched by the sun. So, essentially, so far so good. Here's our camp back here. Molly, hold on. Looks like she got either stung or she's got a stick in her eye. You look like a sad dog. Look at me. Hey, look at me. Molly. Molly, look. Hey. Hey. Oh, yeah. Stay. Look at me. So Ingo's making our cinnamon rolls even more yummy. Gotta love a reflector oven, eh?
Oh, that looks so good.
Well, good morning here on day 3. Camping on Iceland Lake. And wow, had a full night of rain and it's still coming down. It's like a heavy drizzle right now. And yeah, it started raining when we turned in last night. I didn't get any closing shots of last night, just because it was like, yeah, I forgot. And but yeah, heavy night of rain. Like so much so I was dreaming about rain and torrential. I thought I was being flooded out, but I was high and dry in my Hennessy hammock, and all is good. So, but until this morning when I walked out of the tent or out of the hammock, and it got me on the back, the tarp. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, got a bit of a back soaker. So crap happens, right? Anyways, gonna get up here and gonna try and get some breakfast rocking here on the campfire. So time to start the day. Good morning. Look at Molly, such a cute dog. How you doing?
Morning! What about me? Here we are.
It's a little rainy out today.
Here we are.
It's all a good thing. Got the nice tarp set up here at the hammock, and really makes a big difference out here.
Yeah.
You know, but at least we got our coffee cooked, and we're just trying to figure out our breakfast plan and our plan for the day, whether we travel or we sit tight or we travel late, but we'll see. So in the meantime, we're just gonna keep dodging raindrops and hoping that the fire continues to go.
And that coffee is also good. Well, what did you
Yeah,
put
too
in
bad
there?
it wasn't a bigger pot.
Yeah, I know. What did you put in?
Oh, the Irish cream. Gotta have the Irish cream in the coffee, right? Here. Top of the morning to you, Engel. Well, here we are, weather report. It is still pissing down rain, but you know what? We managed to, in the rain somehow, cook up a huge scrambled egg and bacon and naan bread and schinken with cheese, and now we're gonna put something hot in our bellies. Good thing we got the fire really blazing and before the rain started coming down again. But you know what? You always persevere. You gotta work at it, man. You gotta work at it. What do you think?
We do have a few mosquitoes in there too, I noticed.
Oh yeah, a couple of mosquitoes for extra protein, but that's okay. The rain's finally starting to ease up a little bit. Stretch the legs a little. So I say this often in many of my my camping videos about hammock camping with a dog. And Molly here is a Springer Spaniel that weighs about 40 to 50 pound range. And there is no problem. Her and I always share the hammock here. And she finds her comfortable little nook. And you can see right now she's actually quite comfortable. And if my wife was here, my wife would be jealous because my dog is spooning with me. So, Molly, say hi for the camera. Don't even care, do you? It can be done, people. Ingo, you enjoying the weather, buddy?
Well, it's liquid sunshine for sure.
There's a lot of sunshine if it's liquid sunshine.
Yeah. Oh well, you know, it is what it is.
This is the first campsite I think I've ever had where we had running water. Fill up them Nalgene bottles. Okay, so here we are. Still really rainy. It's just a little bit calm right now. We got a heavy drizzle coming down. We decided to set up the tarp here just to try and get a little bit of a fire going under there, liven up the spirits, warm things up, dry things out a little bit. And one problem that we've been having is because on this trip, we're not actually using any type of stove other than a twig stove for cooking, for whatever. And what we've done is we're finding that we're having a really hard time finding dry wood because obviously it's been raining all day and for the past few days here in the Temagami area. So what we've done is gotten really, really resourceful. We're in a pine forest, okay? And yeah, so basically we're finding these tree stumps and I'm breaking off the rotting tree stumps. And if you break off the chunks like this here, very rich with tarpons, right? So this is fatwood essentially. And what we're doing is we're burning that. And we got the kid stove going over here, and we got a nice little warming fire in there. We got a way to make coffee, maybe warm up a soup or something like that. So just as a tip, if you're using a twig stove and you can't find any dry firewood, find yourself some stumps like this down here and break off some of this stuff, and you get that burning. Whether it's wet or not, it will burn. Okay, so that's a great tip for you. Fatwood will keep you warm. It's very resinous when it burns, a lot of black smoke, but there's heat, so that's the good thing. So still on the line here of finding fatwood for your twig stove, and you know, trying to find dry wood. So here's some of the punk wood that we found on old fallen stumps. Now you want stumps that are naturally rotted because the tree has died and is standing up, and all of the terpenes from this pine tree or coniferous tree are all coming down into the base. And what's going to happen is when the tree falls over, everything's going to rot that doesn't have fatwood in it. And the parts that do are fairly solid, right? So if you can actually cut some of them down into size, and then you want to try and whittle away any of the wet stuff that is on the outside, and then all of a sudden you have nice dry fatwood or nice dry wood that you can actually utilize in your fire, in your twig stove or your fire pit or whatever it is that you're using for fire for that day. So now, not to say it's going to be totally dry, but anything that's got resin in it, even if it's wet, is going to burn very well. So as you see, I'm just, like I say, whittling this down and getting into the drier clean wood and taking all the punk off. And once your fire gets going, if you could take a look at the fire over here, once that fire gets going, that's just going to keep going and going. And that's because the wood is naturally drying itself and the fat wood is starting to come out of it. Now, very interestingly enough, that we had a piece here that we were working on, and this is facing the twig stove. If you take a good look at that, you can see right in the end, the fat wood resin is actually coming right out of the wood. It's melting out of the wood. And that's what's actually keeping the fire going if the wood is wet. But what you do, like I say, whittle off all the punky wood. You can see I got a nice big pile of punk wood here that I've just been whittling off. And ultimately, you end up with the nice dry twigs that you can utilize in your fire, your twig stove, or whatever. And you can get yourself out of a jam, cook yourself some dinner, make yourself some hot soup or tea, and you're off to the races. Fat wood is your friend. That's day 3 down. Theme of the day, fire and water. Fire and water. Yeah. And now we got a nice fire going here. Once again with a lot of fat wood. But we're going to enjoy the evening. Going to sign off and enjoy a couple of cocktails. So we will catch up with you on day 4, our exit day. Well, it's day 4. Good morning, everybody. Today is pack up and departure day. We're going to get up, grab ourselves a little bit of breakfast, tear down camp, and hit the water for a rather lengthy paddle. First, we had to head over to a portage, which is going to take us across Lake Temagami Access Road. Then we got a couple of puddle jumps to do to get over onto Lake Temagami. And then a long paddle down Lake Temagami, and hopefully we'll have ourselves a nice little tailwind. And hopefully the weather holds out for us too. We don't not want another day like yesterday. So, time to rise and shine and get our day started. Hi, Molly? Yeah, time to get the day started. Good girl. Attaboy, Hingo's getting the coffee on the go.
Just find selected pieces of wood.
I don't want to do a karate chop. Well, here we are. Just finished packing everything up, and we are just getting ready to shove off here for the long paddle back to Lake Temagami Road access boat launch area. So if we catch any really cool and interesting things along the way, of course, I will show you. If not, day 4 part might be a little bit short. So, all right, Ingo, I'm ready to go, man.
All right,
go. Were you singing to me?
I was singing. I was serenading. I don't know for what.
Oh yeah, here, we'll sing it together, right? On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the water again. And I'm here paddling with all my friends. I can't wait to get on the water again. Yeah. Got a couple of otters here on the river. Don't know if you can see them there close to shore. So we're now just approaching the first of a series of portages that will take us from Iceland Lake across Lake Temagami Access Road and into Lake Temagami eventually. I think there's 4 portages, a couple really small, one about 400 meters, and we will be about a kilometer in total of portages, but shouldn't be too difficult. If it's anything like all the past portages that we had back there, they were all fairly simple, very well blazed, very well marked, or I should say very visible. There were no portage markers that I've seen, except for that one, eh? That was about it. Just the one, yeah. So all in all, time to start doing some horse work. Okay, Mouse, let's go. Molly's chasing some, what are they, wooded growths, right? Are you getting the birds, Molly? Pretty cool. Come across an old hunt camp here on looks like they over here built a little smokehouse, which is pretty cool.
I think so. Look.
Just thought I would show you guys. These are my pacing bags. You know, they pace with my step, and they keep me going. It's like dangling a carrot in front of a horse. You just keep following it and following it, and before you know it, you're at the other lake. So there's something you could try on your canoe.
So now we have to go in there.
Here, push that log back a bit more. The one that you just moved. No, the one you just moved. That one. There we go. Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna get rid of this one here.
Then we might be able to pull through somehow.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like anybody's been through here in a little while. Nice.
Well, I'm wet anyway.
Did you slip in the water back? Molly, sit down.
Oh, you're still sitting.
All right, get over. I get over.
Well, this is the way though.
Well, too much carcass in here. It does look a little obstructed.
Relax. So Dennis, how was the portage?
Piece of cake. That was probably one of the toughest portages I've ever done.
Is that right? Yeah, that boulder garden there through that creek is
Wow.
not easy, eh? Every
This is our last portage, right?
yeah, it is, yeah. But that's an ankle buster, man.
I'm gonna have to wring my clothes out, man. I am so wet. I'm soaked.
Anyway,
Whew.
that was a good one.
Yes, it was. Well, that was a blast from the past. That was one heck of a portage. But we made it through alive. Now we're on hopefully the last little stretch until we get on to Lake Temagami, where we probably got about 10 or 12 kilometers to go back to the access point. And hopefully it's all smooth sailing. It'd be really neat if we had a bit of a tailwind to help us back, especially right now.
You have a beer in that truck right now.
Yeah. So we're just coming up now on the entrance to Lake Temagami from this last creek here, and then we'll be heading west and paddling until we get to the truck. But the trip doesn't end there. Then we have another 7 hours or 6.5 hours home too. So the journey doesn't end when you put the canoe on the truck. We're still paddling on down the east arm of Lake Temagami, and just stopped for a little bit of a lunch break at a Crownland campsite, one of the marked campsites on the lake. And now that we're back on the water, it's still cloudy, as you could probably see in the background up there, but we have little tiny holes of blue sky, something we haven't seen in 4 days. And it's kind of nice, but it's also very warm, so we'll take what we can get and enjoy it. And we've probably got a few hours here to paddle down the lake now to get to our access. That's it. We are back at the boat launch. Nice, not as long as we expected, eh?
Nope.
But good paddle nonetheless. The weather held out for us. It looks like behind us we got a bit of a storm front coming in, so we're hoping to be loaded in the truck and on the road before the rain comes. So thanks for tagging along with this one.
And that's how filthy
that truck looks like.
Lake Temagami Access Road for it.
Oh my goodness, look at a mess. I'm not going to that thing.
Yeah, it's a long walk home, pal.
Okay.
All right, guys, so here's another one in the books. It was a great 4 days here with my buddy Ingo.
Yeah. Right on.
Good times, man. Good times. You know what? This is a great little trip there. It can be done in 3 or 4 days very easily by pretty much anybody. One really rough portage, as you've seen there towards the end. But all the rest are really well blazed and pretty easy to do. Some great campsites along the way as well. Anyways, I encourage you to get out and do the same. And also, what? Keep the adventures alive.
Yeah.
All right. Until the next one.